And so here's the big idea today. Because Jesus just told us in John 10, there's a life that he offers that's far bigger than what we settle for. A life that's so big and so vast and so colorful and so full, like the only word that can begin to describe it is abundant. But I think for a lot of us, somewhere along the way, we kind of lost sight of this abundance, or maybe we never really saw it, and we've just kind of settled for functional, right? Like if we're honest, like we know how to work, we know how to keep going, we know how to pay bills, we know how to raise kids sometimes, right? We know how to attend church, and we certainly know how to look like we're okay. And I think a lot of us, myself included, have settled into this kind of like spiritual low power mode. Like when your battery gets 20%, it goes into low power mode. Like it's on, screen's a little dimmed, some of the functionality's not there. It's really just conserving energy. But the problem is that Jesus didn't come and say, I have come that they may survive. But I came that they may just keep going. No, he says, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. But I think in this passage, it's interesting though, because the thief doesn't show up with a name tag. He shows up as a voice. And I think the reason that matters is because every single one of us in this room is being discipled by voices, whether we realize it or not, right? Like culture has a voice, and shame has a voice, and fear has a voice, and pain has a voice, and money has a voice, and your story has a voice, and your past has a voice, and your phone, my gosh, right? Your phone, everything has a voice. And whether we realize it or not, that voice, what we choose to trust or listen to, will shape the way that we view our lives and will shape the way we live it. See, we see that there's a thief, but then we also see that there's a shepherd. And I think it's cool that Jesus points this out. He's not like, well, I'm not just any shepherd, though. I'm a good shepherd. And here's how you can tell. I will willingly die for my sheep. Now, despite what it may seem in this verse from Jesus and other verses we'll read about shepherds, let's not romanticize what shepherding was. In the ancient world, shepherding was a dirty, dangerous business. Like you lived out in the element, you slept with the flock, and you were the person between your sheep and whatever went bump in the night. And Jesus paints that picture and he goes, you see that? You see that hard work and the protection and the dirt and the ground? That's me. That's me for you. I'm your shepherd. See, there's a thief, but you also have a good shepherd on your side. See, different voice, different road, completely different destination. And the only thing that determines which road you're on is which voice you are listening to and trusting. He says, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me, because that's where the life is. So the question isn't complicated today, church. It's just honest. Whose voice are you following? Because the life Jesus is talking about, it's not just handed to you while you stand still. It's not just a package that's going to be dropped off on your front porch. Jesus says this, my sheep listen to my voice and they do what I tell them to do? No, he says, my sheep listen to my voice and they follow me. See, the life he promises flows from the relationship, not from our effort. And the life is in the following. Let me remind you that Jesus did not come to be another appointment on your calendar. He came to inhabit all of it. See, the goal isn't to escape your ordinary life to find Jesus. It's to stop living your ordinary life as if Jesus is absent. Like the life abundant, it's not found by just escaping and running away and finding something different. It's learning to live your life like Jesus is there and wants to be a part of it and wants to know you and wants to inhabit every space that you allow him. Abundant life's not found somewhere beyond Monday. It's a different way of inhabiting Monday. But don't hear me say that our circumstances never need to change, right? And if you're in here, you know that. You will always find Jesus healing and confronting and leading and sometimes calling us to make courageous changes to our life. But I just want you to know that this life abundant is not held hostage until everything in your life becomes ideal. And I think that's why church matters so much. And I know that sounds terribly predictable, that the pastor would be on stage going, church matters, get here. I get it. But here's the thing. Here's the beautiful and frustrating thing about grace, okay? You don't have to believe that. You don't have to do it. In fact, nobody's making you, and I can promise you God is not withholding his love for you until you get back here on a Sunday. It's just not. You could walk out of these doors today and never come back, and the Good Shepherd will still love you and seek you, track you down. But for the person willing to try it on, for the person willing to actually jump in and not just show up, I can promise you it will change some things about your life. See, the church is not abundant life. Okay, let's be clear. Jesus is abundant life, but the church is one of the primary places where Jesus forms us to live ordinary life differently. And so remember, when we tell you that showing up on weekends matters, that being in Christian community matters, that serving, giving, that those things matter. These are not Christian chores or religious chores. These are formation pathways and vehicles that God's given us to know him more. So isn't God trying to take something from you? It's tools God is using to try to shape something in you. So worship, like what we're doing here, we come and we listen to a message and we sing. It's recentering us around the voice of the Good Shepherd, reminding our souls what's true when the thief has been really loud this week. Worship, community helps us return when we lose our way. See, isolation is safer, but you cannot be formed in isolation. You need people to know your name, to remind you who you are and to call you back when you wander. Serving, it teaches us to bring life into every space that we occupy. You do not find your life by protecting it. Jesus tells us we find our life by giving it away. And giving and generosity. It's teaching us to refuse a lesser life. Generosity is not God trying to get something from you. It is God trying to form freedom in you from the voice of money. That's all generosity is. This is not about guilt today, too. I think that's really, really important. I feel that. And in fact, in the name of Jesus, any spirit of shame, guilt, fear, condemnation, you have no place here. This is not about shame or guilt. Lightning McQueen didn't find life by trying harder. He found life by stopping, by being known, and by following a different voice. And so the invitation today is not to feel bad about your mud pies. I got some mud pies that I really like. They make me feel happy and busy and valuable sometimes, right? It's not to feel bad about your mud pies. It's to lift your eyes and to realize that there's a sea. And this isn't a fix your whole life in one day. This is a lift your eyes, there is more, take a step invitation.